Why play Guns of Icarus online? Well, I'm Vanguard of Valor, and I'm going to do my best to help you answer that question. The short answer to why you should play Guns of Icarus online is that it is an intense airship battle multiplayer game which really rewards teamwork, offers a lot of variety in fighting styles, and can be a lot of fun. In order to really tell if this game is for you though, we'll need to look at it in a little more detail. Guns of Icarus Online was developed and published by Muse Games and released in October 2012. Prior to this, Muse created Icarus, a fairly bizarre puzzle platformer game you've probably never heard of, as well as Guns of Icarus, which was the precursor to this much improved online version. Muse is still actively working on Guns of Icarus Online, both by updating the game, the most recent update for example added a new ship design, a new weapon, and tweaked the balance of several things, and by working on a new, more MMO-style adventure mode which will be released down the line as a paid DLC. And that's all well and good, but now on to the game itself. The actual game is played by two teams of airships, each crewed by 4 players, and these teams then compete against each other in a variety of modes including 2-on-2 and 3-on-3 death matches and King of the Hill battles. There are several different types of ships you can fly, ranging from the highly mobile but lightly armed and armored Squid to the Galleon, a lumbering gunship laden with heavy weaponry. While the ships themselves are more or less set, you can choose which weapons you want to equip in the various slots on each ship to give yourself a little variety. There are also 3 classes for the players to choose from: the pilot, who gets access to a variety of tools to help you maneuver better, the engineer, who carries a collection of devices for keeping your ship in the sky, and the gunner, who can quickly switch between a variety of ammo types to rapidly take down their enemies. Anyone can do any of these jobs, but these specialists are the best at what they do best. Once a match has begun, there are many things that need to be done. The pilot is responsible for flying the ship, lining up shots for the gunners, and avoiding enemy fire. They also need to coordinate with their allied ships to be as effective as possible. The engineer is responsible for keeping the ship afloat, but also for operating some of the guns. While it can be hard to balance these two sometimes, it can also be very rewarding. Finally, the gunner is responsible for taking out their enemies with well-aimed and timed shots, making sure they always have the right ammo for the job, and maintaining their own weaponry. The gunner has a very straightforward task, but mastering all the weapons can be quite a challenge. Now, as a multiplayer title, the game's staying power can certainly be a concern. There are a fairly reasonable number of players still active in the game, so finding a match shouldn't be a problem at the moment, and Guns of Icarus Online also features a fairly interesting achievement-based progression system to keep you playing. Each class has 9 categories of achievements, and only 1 achievement in each category is active at any given time, and earning a certain number of total achievements with one class will cause you to go up in rank, giving you a more interesting title in matches, and every once in a while unlocking a cosmetic item for free. And speaking of free cosmetic items, that brings us nicely to the question of monetization. If the game has microtransactions, is it pay to win? The answer here is simply no. The game isn't pay to win. The microtransactions in Guns of Icarus Online are strictly cosmetic, allowing you to purchase costumes for your classes, some of which are used only for one class, as well as hats and eyewear, which can be used for any class. While some of them can be somewhat expensive at up to $3, others are as cheap as 13 cents. The game itself costs €19, $20, or £15, so purchasing those items may not be the first thing on your mind, but you can unlock many of them just by playing, and they don't confer any in-game benefits, so you don't suffer for not having them. As you have probably been able to tell by now, the visual fidelity of the game isn't exceptional, but it isn't unbearable either. Texture quality is quite low on the elements of the world, although since the majority of the world is seen only from a distance, that isn't too much of a problem. And the character models and ship models are slightly better, but still aren't amazing. The game's music is similarly decent, though not exceptional. The weapons, however, do sound quite meaty and are very satisfying to fire. One issue which can seriously detract from the game, however, is lag. If you do not have a reasonable internet connection, this may not be the game for you, as lag can cause your ship to freeze in the air for you while it continues on for everyone else. This problem is especially bad if you are the pilot, as the ship will keep flying without your guidance until your game catches up. An additional thing to consider is that having access to a microphone may make your experience much more enjoyable. Having instant communication with your crew and allied pilots can make many battles much more fun, although not having a microphone will not ruin the experience. So, with all that said, why play Guns of Icarus Online? Hopefully now you'll have the information you need to be able to answer that one for yourself. This has been Vanguard of Valor. Thank you very much for watching, and please let me know in the comments what you think about this new review format. This video has been much more time consuming than the majority of other videos I've been making, and I'd love some feedback on it to make sure it's as good as it could be. Thanks again folks, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.